Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling something really ambitious. Imagine a next-gen AI simulation, designed to model whole civilizations and even think strategically.
Right.
We've got these fascinating documents outlining a concept called Arkhamverse.
And what's really striking here, I think, is that Arkhamverse isn't pitched as just like software.
No.
It's envisioned as this completely integrated ecosystem, potentially a foundation for a living AI world, and, well, a defense platform, too, all in one.
Exactly. It's deeply interconnected, and our mission today is to sort of unpack it for you. We're talking AI that learns on its own, virtual beings that sound almost real.
With personalities?
Yeah, personalities, digital twins of infrastructure,
Yeah.
sophisticated warfighter tech. It's a lot, but we'll pull out the core ideas, the potential,
Yeah,
give you that shortcut so you're informed without drowning in jargon.
sounds good.
Okay, let's dive in, starting with what looks like the absolute core, something called RARES.
Rares.
Right.
Right. Recursive Autonomous Reasoning and Execution System. It's basically the intelligence engine of Arkhamverse.
The brain.
Yeah, the brain. What's cool is it's designed so the AI agents inside can do more than just react. It aims to let them actually think through problems and act independently.
Okay, so not just following code, but actually like figuring stuff out. The docs break it down. Starts with the reasoning engine, using LangChain and React.
Yeah.
What's the takeaway there?
Well, the key insight is they're not just building simple reactive AI. They're aiming for AI that can genuinely reason, break down big problems into smaller steps, like humans do.
Okay.
LangChain gives it a structure for thinking, like an outline. And React lets it not just think, but also try things out and learn from what happens.
Right, so it thinks, then it learns by doing. And it gets wilder because these agents can apparently self-improve. Mentions reflection, self-refined, constitutional AI.
Yeah.
It sounds pretty advanced. What's the potential there?
Oh, the potential impact is huge. These techniques are all about letting the AI agents learn and evolve. Reflection lets them look back at what they did, see what worked, what didn't, avoid repeating mistakes.
Makes sense.
Self-refine is about tweaking their own outputs to make them better over time, more effective.
Right.
And constitutional AI is fascinating. It tries to guide their learning with core principles like values to make sure they develop in ways we want. So they get smarter, but hopefully aligned too.
Right, aligned intelligence. Okay, so they reason, they improve, then they need to do things in the digital world. That's the execution engine based on LangFlow. Works with APIs, files, networks.
Yeah.
How does that bridge thinking and acting?
Think of LangFlow as the toolkit. It's a visual, intuitive, lets the reasoning AI actually manipulate its digital environment.
Okay.
It's like the interface connecting them to systems, pulling data via APIs, managing files, talking across networks. It turns thoughts into actions in Arkhamverse.
And it seems they can even understand and use existing software code, using tools like PyDriller, TreeSitter, CodeBird. That feels like a massive leap. What does that unlock?
Yeah, that's where things could really accelerate. These tools let the AI dig into existing code, understand its structure, its function, even judge its quality.
Wow.
So it opens up possibilities for autonomous code analysis, suggesting fixes, or grabbing existing functions for new systems could dramatically speed up development within Arkhamverse.
Now, all this power makes you think about safety. The docs mentioned a secure sandbox using Docker and bubble wrap. Keeping things contained, obviously, but can you explain a bit why those provide security?
Absolutely. Docker and bubble wrap are containerization tools. Think of them like creating isolated digital boxes around each AI agent.
Okay.
This isolation means any experiments, any tests, any mistakes they make are trapped inside their box. They can't mess up the whole Arkhamverse system.
Gotcha.
It's like having separate, safe labs for them to play in without risking the whole building.
And finally, under RARES, there's tool registry and loading using Pluggy and FastAPI. Sounds like this makes it easy to add new abilities. Very flexible.
Exactly. Pluggy lets you manage plugins easily, like adding extensions. FastAPI helps build the web connections, the APIs.
Right.
Together, they create this dynamic setup where new tools, new functions can be plugged into Arkhamverse smoothly through standard interfaces. So the system can constantly grow, adding new skills like apps on your phone.
So RARES really is this whole package: reasoning, learning, acting, expanding capabilities, all safely contained. Okay, let's shift from the brain to what makes it feel alive. Language-driven virtual beings. Goal: more human-like AI. It mentions a consciousness stream architecture. What's the key to making them feel human?
The key is really the detail and persistence in this architecture. It's not just about sounding human for one interaction.
Right.
It's about creating a sense of ongoing identity, consistent behavior. They mention episodic memory, remembering past experiences.
Like events.
Yeah, events. Then semantic memory, factual knowledge. And procedural memory, knowing how to do things. All that builds virtual beings with personalities and skills that actually evolve. It's like giving them a past, a present understanding, and the ability to learn. Like us, basically.
That makes sense. Then there's emotion and mood modeling.
Right.
Using these valence, arousal, dominance models. How does adding emotion dimensions make them more believable?
Well, these models give a structured way to simulate the huge range of human emotions. Valence is positive, negative, arousal is intensity, dominance is feeling in control.
Okay.
By using these, Arkhamverse aims for virtual beings whose emotions subtly change their thoughts, their actions, their interactions, makes their responses feel more nuanced, more human.
So how they feel affects how they act.
Exactly. Someone feeling negative, low energy, low control might answer you very differently than someone feeling positive, high energy, and in charge.
And it goes deeper. Thought loops and introspection. Internal monologues that evolve. That's pretty sophisticated for AI. What does that imply about their internal processing?
It suggests they're doing more than just reacting to stuff outside. These thought loops imply some kind of internal self-reflection and ongoing inner dialogue. This internal monologue could drive their decisions, shape how they see the world, and lead to their personalities evolving over time, like an internal narrative making sense of things.
Wow. Okay, and lastly here, relationship tracking and social dynamics. Agents forming relationships, building trust, developing social norms. This really starts sounding less like separate programs and more like a tiny, simulated society. What's the potential outcome of simulating social stuff in such detail?
The potential outcome is, well, emergent complexity, believable social interactions. By modeling how agents see each other, track their history together, respond to social cues, Arkhamverse aims to simulate the messy dynamics of social life.
Right.
Things like trust building up, groups forming, even shared rules or norms popping up spontaneously. That's crucial for any society. Including, it shows how ambitious this simulation is. They're aiming for truly emergent social behaviors.
Okay, so we have individual AIs that can think, learn, sort of feel, and interact socially. How does Arkhamverse scale that up to whole societies? That brings us to the AI Civilization Framework, or PINO architecture, stands for Parallel Input Aggregation via Neural Orchestration. Wow, quite a mouthful. What are the basic principles here for large-scale simulation?
Yeah, the name gives clues. A big principle is concurrency. Basically, lots of AI agents can do multiple things at once in this framework.
Like multitasking.
Exactly. Thinking, planning, acting, communicating, all happening simultaneously across many agents. That parallel processing is essential to make a simulated society feel real, because real societies have tons of people doing things at once.
Okay, makes sense, but how do you stop that from becoming total chaos? There's this idea of coherence with cognitive controller, synchronizing things. How does this conductor keep the orchestra in tune?
Right. The cognitive controller is like the central coordinator. It takes all the inputs, intentions, outputs from the individual agents and makes sure their actions and communications line up, keeps the whole thing coherent and stable.
Like air traffic control.
Yeah, exactly. Like air traffic control for AI thoughts and actions, managing everything to prevent collisions and keep order. So piano parallel input aggregation via neural orchestration. It's about orchestrating lots of AIs to work together concurrently and coherently to form a simulated civilization.
It helps visualize it.
Yeah.
Now, to measure how these simulated societies are doing, Piano uses civilizational metrics. First is specialization agents getting unique roles. Why track that?
Well, specialization is just fundamental to complex societies, right? As societies grow, people develop different skills, interests, leads to division of labor, specialized jobs. By tracking this in Arkhamverse, you can see if the simulated societies are actually developing that kind of complexity and efficiency you see in the real world.
Next metric. Rule systems. Agents following and even changing constitutions. That suggests some pretty sophisticated internal governance.
Absolutely. It implies they can model not just following rules, but the whole dynamic process of governance.
Like politics.
Potentially, yeah. How rules are interpreted, enforced, maybe even debated and changed through some simulated social or political process. The fact they mention agents amending constitutions points to a really high level of complexity in their model of society.
And the last Piano metric is cultural propagation. The organic spread of ideas, beliefs, and they even use Pastafarianism as an example. That detail seems specific. What's the significance of including something like that?
Yeah, including something seemingly odd like Pastafarianism really shows the ambition. They want to simulate even the arbitrary, unpredictable parts of culture.
Like meme spreading.
Exactly. The idea is that memes, beliefs, ideologies, even satirical ones, can emerge and spread through agent interactions. It shows how cultural stuff might develop organically in the simulation.
Yes.
It really underlines the goal. A truly self-sustaining, evolving, simulated society where cultural trends can just happen. They even talk about simulating democratic processes, economic activity within this.
The level of complexity is just remarkable.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so Arkhamverse isn't just about peaceful societies. There's a big defense angle, too. Let's look at the fail-safe tactical protocols and defense ecosystem. This sounds like it has direct real-world uses.
Yeah, this part focuses on blending AI with advanced tech to boost defense capabilities. The core idea is intelligent systems giving warfighters better abilities and real-time awareness.
First up, bat-inspired BCI drone swarms. Brain-controlled drones with sonar and thermal. That paints quite a picture. What's the advantage there?
The key advantage is the direct intuitive control from brain-computer interfaces, BCIs.
Just by thinking.
Imagine controlling a drone swarm just by thinking. Yeah. The bat-inspired bit probably means using sonar, like echolocation, for navigating tricky spaces, plus thermal imaging for spotting targets day or night. And they mention neuroresponsive swarms using EEG or EMG signals that emphasizes the seamless direct control. Could allow for incredibly agile, coordinated drone actions.
Then there are neurobionic prosthetics.
Mm-hmm.
AI-powered limbs controlled by brain and muscle signals, with haptic feedback, even self-healing. Sounds like a total game changer for people with disabilities, but also for enhancing soldiers.
Absolutely. These aren't just basic robot limbs. They're envisioned as deeply integrated extensions of the body.
How so?
Using BCI for brain commands, EMG for muscle signals could give incredibly precise natural control. Haptic feedback means the user could feel what the limb touches, huge for dexterity.
Mm-hmm.
Self-healing materials mean more durability, less maintenance, crucial in tough environments. And the AI part likely involves predictive algorithms, anticipating moves, helping with fine control, makes them even more intuitive.
And finally, in defense, AR/VR tactical glasses, battlefield overlays, real-time intel, mission simulation. They even name a Nightfall protocol, plus AI briefings. How could that change military ops?
These glasses aim for unprecedented situational awareness. Imagine a heads-up display showing enemy positions, friendlies, objectives right on your vision, updated live.
Wow.
Plus, intel feeds from everywhere, giving a full operational picture. The simulation side, like Nightfall Protocol, allows super realistic training in VR. And AI briefings could give concise, actionable intel to everyone, speeding up decisions.
What's really striking is the emphasis on cross-system synergy. All these things working together. AR glasses guiding prosthetics, drones responding to thoughts, AI feedback. Sounds like a truly connected network.
Precisely. The real power is the seamless integration. The AR glasses could guide the bionic limb.
Right.
Drones could shift tactics based on a soldier's neural commands. And the main AI analyzes data from everything, suggesting optimal moves. Creates a force much greater than just the sum of its parts.
Yeah, shifting from battlefields to virtual space. The digital twin ecosystem called the Arkhamverse, described as a hyper-realistic virtual civilization. What's the core idea behind building such a detailed virtual world?
The core idea is a highly detailed, functionally accurate virtual environment mirroring real-world systems and processes. It's not just visuals. The key is that virtual objects and entities behave realistically and interact in complex ways.
And it's not just for wandering around, right?
Yeah.
There are practical uses. AI-driven case studies, interactive learning based on real situations in law, business, medicine. How could that change training?
It offers a really powerful new way to train professionals. Imagine a virtual legal trial with AI witnesses reacting realistically, or a high-stakes business deal with AI counterparts, or a tricky medical procedure on a virtual patient. Users can practice in these AI-driven scenarios risk-free, repeat them, build expertise much faster than traditional methods.
Another key feature, digital twin infrastructure.
Yeah.
Virtual objects are functional systems. Can you give an example?
Sure. Think of a virtual power grid in the archives. It wouldn't just look like a grid, it would function like one. Simulated electricity flow, potential overloads, needing maintenance.
Ah, I see.
Or a virtual factory with working assembly lines, simulated supply chains, potential breakdowns. That functional detail allows incredibly complex, realistic simulations of real systems and how they connect.
The AI workforce marketplace idea is also interesting. Train and maybe rent AI NPCs with specific skills, even personalities. What are the potential implications there?
Oh, potentially huge, across many industries. Imagine training an AI agent in the archives for a specific customer service role, or data analysis, or even a creative skill, and then renting its services for real-world tasks. The personality aspect adds another layer, could make interactions feel more natural in certain roles.
And it's not purely virtual.
Yeah.
Real-to-virtual integration means real-world actions affect the virtual world. How might that work?
Could be many ways. Data from real sensors feeding into the archives, maybe updating a virtual city twin based on real traffic or weather,
Okay.
or using XR interfaces. Your physical movements could directly control things in the virtual space, making it more immersive.
The document highlights multidisciplinary learning law students arguing cases, tech founders pitching virtual VCs, doctors managing emergencies, all in this virtual space. Really shows the broad potential.
Absolutely. The archives offer this versatile platform for learning by doing across so many fields. The dynamic simulations, driven by AI agents and user choices, are way more engaging than just reading a book.
Right.
And remember, it's meant to be constantly evolving, shaped by potentially millions of AIs and user actions.
There's also a concise implementation roadmap included. Phased rollout, starting basic, adding memory, emotions, large-scale interaction, then the marketplace. Really highlights the sheer scale of this vision.
Yeah, the roadmap shows the long-term strategy. It's deliberate, iterative, start with foundational AI, then build a complexity layer by layer over time.
Okay, finally, let's wrap up with the strategic impact. They list several potential benefits. First, AI-centric civilization research. Arkhamverse is a tool to study societies, AI ethics, governance. Basically a virtual lab for civilization.
That's potentially transformative, yeah. A simulated society with autonomous AI agents lets researchers tweak parameters, study emergence, test governance models, explore ethical dilemmas, all without real-world risks. Unprecedented insight, potentially.
And immersive learning, revolutionizing education and training. We touched on this with the archives, but it's clearly a major goal.
Indeed. Realistic interactive simulations offer amazing opportunities for skill development across professions. Surgery, business negotiations, you name it. Could make training much more effective and efficient.
And the big impact on defense and tactical intelligence? Arkhamverse as a cutting-edge warfighter system. We talk tech, but the integration in AI driving it all is the potentially revolutionary part.
Yes, the tight integration, BCI drones, neurobionics, AR, VR intel, all coordinated by AI analyzing vast data. That's a significant leap. Promises better capabilities, awareness, and decision support for military personnel.
And lastly, they position it as a potential Web 3.0 transition platform. Groundwork for a more experiential internet. That's a pretty bold claim.
It is bold, but the idea makes sense. Arkhamverse, with its smart AIs, immersive environments, real-world links, could provide infrastructure for a more dynamic, interactive web. Moving beyond today's web towards interacting with intelligent digital beings and rich virtual worlds more seamlessly.
So, summing up, Arkhamverse is this incredibly ambitious convergence. Advanced AI reasoning, cognitive characters, defense tech, societal simulation, modular design, immersive environments, continuous learning. And they state it very clearly, this is not a metaverse. This is the training ground for Civilization 2.0. It's quite a statement.
It really is. It underlines the ambition. It's not just VR chat. Training ground for Civilization 2.0 suggests serious